just realized that I didn't have any sound. Lucky I picked it up now. So all that you missed was me saying good morning, and now we can start when you can actually hear me. This is the card that we're going to make today. It's an interlocking, I don't know whether it's a gatefold or a bridge fold, not quite a bridge fold because it doesn't have the bridge going across, but an interlocking something card. Okay, so that locks underneath the bottom one when it's closed, and it'll open up. It will stand if you're one of those people that like standing cards, but it opens up like that, and you have room on the inside to write your note. Alright, so let's get started. We're starting with a standard size card base, and we're going to score that, and I suppose I normally go backwards, but we'll go forward. So we're going to score at 5.2, and okay, try that one again. Scored in the right place, said the wrong place. 2.6 and 5.2 centimeters, and I'm not measuring that from the other side, so we're just turning it over and scoring those same measurements on both sides. If you're working in inches, it's an easy 1 and 2 inch. And that is all our scoring done. Easy as. Alright, so then what we're going to do is we're going to fold that inner score line in, give it a nice press with your bone folder, and the second one is going out. And if you find that you haven't pressed hard enough or it's not sitting nicely, when you're done, just go and stick it under a very old-fashioned thing, a book, or you could even fold this and stick it underneath something the night before so that it flattens nicely. Okay, now I am changing the colors up, so pull this one back in. Instead of my petunia pop, I'm going to go orange, so we're going to use pumpkin pie. And got so into it, didn't show you the products that I'm using. We're all over the show today. So Coneflower Celebrations, and we're using the Coneflower Celebrations die. I'm also using the Textured Notes dies and Traditional Labels dies. Okay. I think that was all that I needed to show you. And the DSP is one that's been around for a while. I'm changing up the piece as well. So I think it's called Botanical Textures. It's from the Textured Notes bundle. Alright, now let me get back to all my excitement. So stamping first. And I have, as per usual, done my stamping and die cutting. So just one stamp to do here for the inside of the writing panel. And if you're wondering why I got distracted, it's because I just realized that I need to cut something and I didn't bring a scissors. Okay, we'll see if I can make a plan. Alright, then you're going to stamp that same flower onto your pumpkin pie cardstock and die cut it. Now this die, when you're cutting it, actually is a double die. So when I say a double die, I'll explain exactly what I mean. So you could cut it and flip it over that your flower can be a card with a little note inside it. But when you're cutting it, the two sides are actually different, so just be careful when you stamp it that you're actually lining it up with the side that matches. Okay, otherwise your leaves are going to be, or your, goodness, can't talk today, your petals are going to be slightly off. Alright, now before I put my inks away, what I'm going to do is just take my second one, which I cut out, and you can see this die gives you all those lovely markings. And I'm just going to add a bit of color to it. So again, with the pumpkin pie ink, we're just going to darken the bottom of those petals a little bit. And this looks like I'm darkening the whole thing. I did want to leave some of the peach pie. We're going with the pies today. I was actually going to try and stick with the pie theme and use pecan pie for the center seedy bit, but I decided we're going with darling duckling. Now, here's what I was saying. You should cut that off. Okay, that's where if I was cutting it double, I would have the fold, but I'm just going to fold that down for now. And then, hopefully, my glue is going to come out. All that I do is stick the top, the pollen bit of the flower on top. Okay, so I'm leaving those petals loose. They can have a bit of movement if you wanted to. Don't do that. You could bend them up a little bit. Because I need to give the glue time to dry. And then we're taking, I don't know why I can't think of what it's called today, the center of the flower, and we're going to just stick that over. Now if you want to, you could go and add a bit of color to this as well, maybe some of that pecan pie that I was talking about, but I decided that I just liked it in the darling duckling. Oops. Alright, now while you're stamping, you would stamp your leaves and stems as well. So you have two different shaped leaves and the stem in that stamp set, and what I did is I've stamped them onto Old Olive with Old Olive ink and die cut them. Okay, and now we are ready to assemble. So I have my two textured notes die cuts. That one is from the second largest die. That one is the third largest, and the die cut, which nope, hang on, I had two of them because I was showing them to you. Right, there we go. Okay, so that one again is from that same third largest die, and that one's from the fourth largest. Okay, so we're just going to stick my DSP on. And if you wanted a slightly smaller border, you could just cut rectangles of your DSP, but I quite like, even though it is quite subtle on the DSP, that sort of edging that the dies give. Maybe we'll pull my card back in here so that you can see what we're working towards. And this is now really easy assembly. So I have a mat, and I suppose in theory I could have cut one of those textured notes out of that, because we're going to cover it up so nobody would know that there was a piece missing in the middle. I often do that, but this time for whatever reason I didn't. So let's just stick that mat in. And then the whole thing is going to go into the center of our card. One of those days, I'm not seeing so well. won't be too much longer and this cataract will be removed, so that's going to be novel, actually being able to see out of this eye. Now taking my biggest eye, I'm putting some glue along that edge, and be careful, we only want it on that edge. Okay, and we're going to stick it onto this side. Now I know that with this die it's not actually even sort of sides and top and bottom, but that's okay. And now, and this one is the catch one, okay? We want to stick this one so that we have glue along that edge, but it needs to be far enough over, well, glue just on the edge so that that one is going to be able to slide under it. So just be careful with this one. We just want glue on the edge because we don't want to stick it down so that this one's not going to be able to get in. And you can see I'm actually checking where that is so that I'm not sticking it down. And because that die is the same size as the DSP on that one, we can actually line it up. So that's going to be hidden over there. Why does my glue not want to stick today? It seems like, I don't know whether it's me being too impatient or whether it's the glue. Okay, so there we go. Can you see there? We've got our interlocking bit happening. And then I stamped the sentiment, and I have to say that this is probably my favorite sentiment in the stamp because it's that happy belated birthday, and I'm very good at making cards but not so good at actually getting them sent out, so I tend to send my cards out pretty late. So both of these were cut from the traditional labels dies, and we're going to stick it on. So I want that covered, so that's going to go pretty close to the edge there so that it's covered when it's closed. Okay, so we just want that sentiment to show when it's opened, but when it's closed we're going to be showing the flower. Alright, and now for my flower I'm going to stick the stem, and it's going to go over the edge, which is fine. If you're not happy with that and you want it just on the DSP, then cut it shorter. There we go. And the leaves. One over there and my other one on the other side. Doesn't really matter whether it's on top or over the stem because we are going to stick the bow over, which will hide it, and then my flower is going to go that leaf grew really long and is sitting underneath the flower. That's okay. And finally, well, almost finally, I have a little bow that I made in my peach pie ribbon. Oops. And if my glue dot wants to leave its happy home, we're going to stick that so that it's hiding those joins of the leaves. And bling, so I'm using the 25 to 27 in color flat pearls. We do have these same flat pearls in the 24 to 26, but I decided instead of the peach pie ones, I'm going to go with the timid tiger because I want something a little bit darker. And so we're going to just stick them here, so we just have to watch how we're going. That one, the bottom one, does actually get covered up when the card's closed, and I think that it's going to happen again. I was trying to see whether I could get it without covering up the bottom dot, but I don't think so, so it's not terrible if it's hidden when the card's closed. Alright, so there's our card in the two different colors. Just make sure when it's closed that you actually get it hooked underneath that one, and it's going to open up like that, and there's our writing panel. Okay, so again, not a difficult card, but quite effective, and I think it's a good card if you're saying, sorry, I sent this late. It should make people happy. Alright, so that's me done for today. Enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you again next week. Until then, bye for now.